Okay, we're gonna start over. Hi guys, welcome to um, our team talk. We are doing weekly team talks for you guys for oil education, and we're really excited because we just got back from convention, and we are going to talk about some things that doTERRA is currently doing. And one thing that they are really focusing on right now is trying to bridge the medical world, the medical community with natural alternative things like essential oils. And so the day before convention, they had their very first medical symposium where they invited just doctors and medical people in the medical profession, and did a huge oil training specifically for using oils in the medical world, which is really, really awesome. They had over 500 doctors and practitioners there. And what they are working on, their big project over the next 2 years, is actually opening up medical clinics all over the U.S. They're going to, of course, start in Utah and start at their campus. They're expanding their campus. They broke ground to build a whole new clinic at doTERRA, and they're going to first open it up to their employees and kind of get the kinks figured out, and then they'll open it up to wellness advocates, and hopefully within the next few years to the public. But for right now, it's mostly going to be employees and wellness advocates, and then they're going to branch them out all over the U.S. Have ideally different clinics that you can go and get questions and get your health issues addressed from an oil perspective, and get oil prescriptions and things like that. They're not going to sell oils or be distributors. The doctors are not. They'll only sell samples, and then they'll encourage you to go to your to order the oils off of your own account, or go to who introduced you to oils and all of that. So they're not going to take away from our business at all. Anyway, that was kind of their big new exciting announcement, besides all the new products, which we'll get to. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. So I know you guys all want to hear about the new products. So one thing I want to say before we get into that is go to a post-convention tour. They're all over. They're in almost every single state. So at the end, I'll show you where to go to register for that. But definitely go to a post-convention event, because they'll be able to go over lots more products and in detail and everything. So these are our brand new oils, which I am so excited about. So we're going to go through some of these. The first one is the On Guard Sanitizing Mist, and it comes in the similar bottle. If you guys have used the TerraShield, it comes in a spray bottle like that. It has the On Guard oil in it and a little bit of alcohol, and it's only $6.50, which is awesome. I love that it's only $5. We all know how well the On Guard works, so these are some great ideas for how to use it. Of course, before and after food, before and after caring for someone who's sick, before and after treating a wound, bathroom. I think this is great. I actually have been able to sample this. They gave this out, I want to say at Leadership last year. So we've actually had an On Guard sanitizing spray that we've been using, and we got two. Joe and I each got one, and I've kept one in my car and one in my purse. And one of my daughters has a really hard time using, I think so, I'm not sure, has a hard time using harsh soap, like chemical, like industrial soap. She loves the On Guard foaming soap, but she can't use soaps like in a public bathroom. And so she always just washes her hands with water, and then we either put oil or this spray on her hands to actually sanitize them. So it works really good for after bathrooms if you don't have soap available or soap that you can use. After blowing your nose, coughing, sneezing. I have had a little bit of a cold this week, so I have been using this like crazy to keep my hands clean. After, of course, touching animals, after touching garbage. Anyway, you guys know how to use hand sanitizer. Lots of fun, lots of great ways. Okay, so we also have a new one, Siberian fir, and this will be kind of an upgrade to our white fir. I know that a lot of us really love white fir, including me. White fir is one of my favorite oils, but it's not as sustainable as doTERRA would like it to be, and so they've been looking actually for the last year or so, they've been looking for alternatives or something similar, and they found Siberian fir. And think of it as an upgrade. It is amazing. I really love white fir, but I actually can say I really love Siberian fir even more. The scent is a little bit more like deeper, a little more richer, like there's a little more to it. And so a lot of us when they told us this, we were kind of a little disappointed that we're losing white fir. But Dr. Hill says really it has more better chemistry. It's more, I forget the word he used, but prominent, I guess, prominent chemistry, just more variant, more potent chemistry than white fir. So it really is an upgrade. It affects a lot of different body systems, very similar to white fir, but even more. And the awesome thing is before, we could only use white fir for topical or aromatic. With Siberian fir, you can also use it internally now, which is awesome. So I always love when I can take oils internally. And so this is a really great added bonus. This is kind of the chemical breakdown of it, but I want you to notice that list on the left side: the relaxation, cardiovascular, cell support, cleansing, metabolism, respiratory, tissue support, immune support. These are a lot of great things that it can do. Of course, we can use the aroma of it, put it in your diffuser. It's very good for relaxation and rest. It's also really good for your airways. I've been rubbing it on my throat and chest this week. Of course, you can use it topically, great for skin, great for tissues, great for pain. One of the reasons I loved white fir is because it was so good for pain. This one is just as good, if not better, for pain. So I'm really excited to use it for pain and tissue healing. And now we can use it internally. So it supports all of our body systems. You can put it in a capsule and take it internally, which is super exciting because we couldn't do that before with white fir. You can combine it with some citrus oils, and for cleansing, you can combine it with other known respiratory support oils like rosemary and eucalyptus for added respiratory support. Cedarwood, Manuka, all your oils that we know are good for the skin, you can combine it with just to give it kind of an extra boost. So those are some great ways that you can use it. Okay, blue tansy. Blue tansy is a really fun one. We've had this in deep blue. It's what gives deep blue the deep blue color. You can diffuse it. It's really, really good for your mood and help create a positive environment. It's also very, very soothing to skin and overactive tissues again and discomfort. Very much similar to the things that we would use deep blue for: pain and swelling and inflammation and trauma, any kind of incidences, things like that. Deep blue is, you could use blue tansy for. But I want to show you guys this. It's like dark blue. It's like ink blue. It's really, really dark. And when you rub it in, it goes away pretty quickly. My daughter, when she was smelling it, she got it on her nose and it kind of was blue. It was really fun. She had her whole nose was that dark ink blue for just a few minutes until she rubbed it all off. So it definitely has a very dark blue pigment, which is kind of fun. Okay, you can use it with lemongrass and marjoram. Those are all great ways that we use deep blue. Could you guys see that? Just so that you couldn't see it. We'll try it again. So it's really dark blue. But once you rub it in, it goes away pretty quickly. And there's kind of a blue tint there, but it goes away pretty quick. Anyway, you can use it with, we know marjoram and lemongrass are great oils for tissues and pain. So lemongrass and marjoram you can use it with, or you can use it with oils that are good for the skin, like cedarwood and frankincense and geranium. So just to give you some ideas. Okay, So we have an endocannabinoid system, which we don't often hear about. It's another system in our body that really has been, we just don't talk about it, but it's part of our, it's similar to like our immune system and similar to our hormonal system. They're kind of, it's very similar to those systems, and it's just a different system of the body. And there's two receptors. There's the CB1 receptor and the CB2 receptor. Your CB1 receptors affect your brain and your central nervous system, and your CB2 receptors work on your endocrine system and your immune system. And I'm going to explain this the best as I can, but I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit foggy, and I'm still trying to process all this information. So bear with me. Okay, so there's different compounds that affect these different CB1 and 2 receptors in our bodies. So, or there's different compounds that affect these receptors. So there's CBD oil that we've maybe heard of, and it's there's CBD oil, and it doesn't directly affect the CB receptors, but it has, because it's usually in small or low quantities, but so there's your CBD oil. There's THC, which we know will show up in blood test or drug screenings. It's THC that interacts with your CB1 and your CB2. Your CB1 receptors is the one that gives you kind of the high when something interacts with that. That's what stimulates the psychoactive effects. And then there's a third one, which is your BCP, your beta-caryophyllene. And this compound does not interfere with your CB1, so it doesn't give you kind of a high, but it has the same other benefits as different cannabinoids. And it has a direct interaction with the CB2, which is part of your immune system, your neurological system, and your hormonal system. And there's really great therapeutic amounts present. So it's different chemicals. And this new copaiba oil has not CBD oil, and doesn't have any THC in it. It has a third one, BCP, in it, which is pretty much the best of the best and none of the bad. So it's kind of it's a really good thing because it has therapeutic amounts in it, and it still affects our CB2 receptors, which is a really great thing, but it doesn't affect our CB1, which is also a really good thing. So you get the effects as other cannabinoids like the CBD and the THC. You get similar benefits, but even more benefits and not any of the highs or any of the negative connotations associated with it. So this new oil is really awesome because it has similar effects on our system as other oils that are healing and beneficial, that can be beneficial as well, without any of the bad stuff or the maybe stuff that you don't want. So this is copaiba. It comes from a different plant. It's a tree. This comes from the resin. It's a tree resin oil, and this one actually they get it from four different species. There's 4 different species of this tree, and doTERRA blends all 4 of those species and puts it into one because they all have unique compounds, and so they want to blend them into one so that we can get all of those compounds. It doesn't have CBD in it, and it doesn't have THC in it. It has that third compound in it, which can have similar healing benefits. So it's a really good liver and antioxidant support, really good for cardiovascular health, really good for immune response. It kind of takes me a few days to kind of figure out how to use the new oils. But I've just been learning that a lot of people that have came back from convention have had the same kind of cold and upper respiratory infection that I've had, and a lot of mucus and runny noses and coughs. And they've been using this, and this has kind of been the only thing that's touched it. And so I haven't been using it, and I still am kind of not feeling good. And so I was reading over comments today on how people are using it, and there are multiple people that said this is what helped them. So I have been putting this on today, and I put a few drops underneath my tongue because you can use it internally. So I'm really hoping to wake up tomorrow like a new person, feeling much better. So I'm really excited about this oil, to have this great oil for our immune system. Also really great digestive support, really good neurological function. Okay, neurological oils that support our neurological system are amazing. Think about frankincense and all the great, wonderful things we know about how awesome frankincense is in supporting our neurological system. This does that too. Also respiratory support. So another reason why I'm going to be using it a lot over the next few days. And it doesn't taste bad. I put it under my tongue today, and it kind of has a good, most of the tree resin oils like frankincense don't really taste that great, but this one is kind of fun. I like it. So anyway, I'm really excited about this oil for some great immune support. You put it in a capsule and take it. You can blend it with frankincense for increased cellular support. My mom was telling me she's been putting it underneath her tongue every day. You can blend it with peppermint. So just some fun different ones. I have a few extra slides in here I had a few testimonials, but I can't read my notes. I don't know how to get to my notes. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I want to mess with all that again. So, okay, we'll just kind of keep going. Okay, so you can use it with coconut oil if you want. You can combine it with blue tansy for even more soothing relief for skin irritations and blemishes. You can use it as a facial moisturizer, like with cedarwood. Lots of different ways to use this. So think of immune support and support the inflammatory response and neurological supports the neurological system. You can breathe it in. You can use it to elevate your mood. You can combine it with Siberian fir for relaxation. There's lots of fun things that you can do with it. Really good for sleep. Excellent for sleep. You can use it underneath the tongue. Somebody was saying they had a headache and really bad headaches and tension, and this is what they use to help with their headaches. There was another testimonial about using it at the dentist and being calm at the dentist. Injuries, there were just a few testimonials. The central nervous system controls most of the functions of the body and mind. So it's really awesome that it supports our central nervous system, because our central nervous system is just, it's like the gateway to the whole rest of our functions of our body. So it's pretty awesome that it does this. Okay, so one thing that I think Emily Wright talked about was how potent a drop of oil is. And she says, if all the molecules inside of a single drop of grapefruit oil were evenly shared among all the cells in your body, each cell would receive about 6.1 million molecules. So it's pretty exciting that sometimes we just think, oh, it's just one dinky little drop of oil. But seriously, it is very potent and does a lot of work in our systems. Okay, so another topic that came up is NEAT, or is undiluted application more effective versus diluting it? So I have always used oils neat. Coconut oil was just kind of too much to mess with, and I had no problem just putting them on neat. When the touch oils came out, I started using them more, diluting them more, and I found that, they're still just as effective. And so this was kind of a topic that has came up. And so there was they showed this slide and talked about how coconut oil, when you use a carrier oil, it decreases the evaporation and it enhances it penetrating and going through the skin. So we can't think of it as just diluting the oils. It's not really diluting it. It's helping it to stay on our skin and not evaporate off so quickly. And it helps it to get into those skin levels and stay in our skin levels. So this is a slide that I thought was really interesting, is when you put oils, non-diluted. See how it kind of stays topically? It kind of stays just on the top of our skin, and we get a lot of flash off, and then it will get into our system. When you use fractionated coconut oil, it kind of goes into the skin layers and penetrates and kind of concentrates right in that area. And so if you have a localized area of pain or discomfort or something you're really trying to work on, an earache or anything like that, it's a good idea to use a little bit of coconut oil because it holds the oil in that place. It helps your skin absorb it and get underneath into the skin layer and then hold it there so that it can actually be more effective longer because it's almost like stuck right there, which is good, which is what we want. So Emily says if you want it to get into your system, then, you know, don't use as much coconut oil, and it'll kind of slowly get into your skin and then get where it needs to be. But if you're working on a very localized area, then don't be afraid to dilute it because it'll kind of hold it there. She talked about basically how perfect our fractionated coconut oil is. It really is the best carrier oil. It's kind of a small line of where you want your carrier oil. You don't want it to have too large or too small of molecules. And so you need the medium chain triglycerides, and fractionated coconut oil is perfect for that. So fractionated coconut oil really is the perfect carrier oil. Also, massage stimulates dilation of blood vessels, which we know, which leads to improved skin absorption. So it's a good idea to kind of rub your area, wherever you're putting them in a little bit. You know, rub them in, massage them in a little bit, and it helps bring that blood circulation to the area. Okay, so there's a new oil. So we already have petitgrain, and petitgrain comes from the bitter orange leaves. We have a new oil, neroli, which comes from the flower of the same plant. So it's kind of cool that we can get a couple different oils from the same plant. So this new neroli oil comes from the flower of it. And it's another one that is and it comes in a touch, which is awesome. Speaking of diluting oils. So it comes in a touch. I really am loving the touch oils. And so this has, for our mood, really, really good for our mood and anxiousness, really good to help kind of just calm, and really, really good for the skin, and it encourages relaxation. I have one of my testimonials that came up. It said, neroli stopped Kayla's shaking and body tremors within 3 minutes. Things that's helped with: insomnia, recovering from an illness, indigestion, intestinal issues, stress, scarring, skin regeneration, acne, stretch marks, menopausal anxiety, sleep disorders, nervousness, depression, tension, emotional exhaustion. So lots of different things. This is a really great anti-stress oil and skin oil. This is what happens when you apply neroli during the day. So this is a good nighttime oil. Reduce stress and anxiety. It supports stomach. Also, inflammatory response during the late stages of pregnancy. That was a good thing to note. Also, I'm going to sneeze. It also helps with monthly cramps, lower back discomfort, all of that lovely monthly stuff that we go through. Also, the copaiba, this works really well with copaiba for helping relaxation and pain. Okay, I'm just going to flip through some of these. Helps regulate healthy cell production, all of that. Okay, this was a lady that used neroli. She got a cut on her head. Let's see. She used frankincense and lavender and Correct-X on the first day, and then switched to neroli. And this was a picture of 48 hours later. So pretty awesome. Okay, jasmine. So jasmine, I'm so excited to have. So jasmine, we've had, they've just had enough small supply to every once in a while to put it out for a promotion, but they can make it now a full-time product, and it's again in the touch, and they do this to use it because it's a great way to use it when it's diluted, but also to help cut down costs because jasmine is a very expensive, very precious oil. So I love that it's in the touch. I love that it can easily use, and I love that it's pre-diluted, and I also love that it makes it more affordable. So really, really good for the mood, really, really good for skin. If you think about your flower oils like the neroli, the jasmine, the lavender, they all are really good for skin and mood. That's kind of what we know. If you think of what lavender, if you can kind of compartmentalize and kind of put them in different categories, your flower oils are really good for your mood and skin. So we all are pretty familiar with lavender. So these are flower oils as well, the jasmine and the neroli. So they're going to have really good also compounds that help with skin and mood. So just to kind of help remember what they're good for. So it's a flower oil. It's good for skin and mood. Also, I've had people, they said fertility, menstrual cramps, abdominal issues, nervous tension, nervousness, anything stress, fatigue, low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, all of these things. Really great ways to use the jasmine. Healthy blood pressure levels, that's good to know. Menstrual cycles, all of that. Okay, and then rose. So another floral, another flowery oil. So again, we know it's going to help with our mood and our skin, right? So it's emotionally uplifting. Rose is one of the best oils for uplifting, one of the best oils for antidepressants. Really, really great. Feelings of panic attacks, things like that, really, really great for racing heart. Helps balance the skin and the moisture levels of the skin. Geranium does that also, another floral oil. Reduces the appearance of skin imperfections. This is the queen of oils. This is an amazing oil. Think of like frankincense and rose. This is one of the top oils. This one has been really good for eczema or eczema. There's a lot of talk and comments about this being helpful for eczema. So really great, great oil. Rose, we know, is very precious oil. It takes a lot of oil to produce, or a lot of petals, a lot of roses to produce oil. So that's why it's got a little bit more expensive of a price tag. 8,000 roses to produce 5 ml of essential oil. Happiness and contentment. Neroli and rose stimulate feelings of happiness and contentment for childbirth. Helps the body naturally release desire for pain medication. Research shows that rose essential oil may support healthy, rejuvenated nerves. So again, for our nerves, our stress levels, our relaxation. Morning, noon, and night to promote healthy brain activity for children. Keeps your immune system strong. Rose has helped clearing up. There was a testimonial, clears up my 2-year-old's molluscum, which is all over his right armpit and right side. When it's covered and applying rose, we see a significant change. So that was kind of a fun new one. Patch on my ankle for months. At convention, it was bigger, darker, oozing. After Emily's presentation, she gave a really great presentation on how she used rose for her daughter's skin infection. She opened up the rose and began applying it, and it's light pinker and smaller. So laundry basket, rose oil. Okay, let's kind of go on here. Okay, so we also have a new yoga collection of oils, which is really awesome. They have 3 different ones. So there's a line. We'll kind of go through them. Okay, we'll start with Anchor. So Anchor is your steadying blend. I think of it as it's not similar to Balance, but it does, when I think of Anchor, I think of like a grounding. This is your steadying, your grounding oil. Really good to help that feeling of groundness. Completeness, calmness, courage, steady foundation. So this is definitely one that helps just kind of help you feel grounded and steady. There's lavender, cedarwood, frankincense, cinnamon, sandalwood, black pepper, and patchouli. So lots of tree oils. I think that's why it reminds me of Balance so much, is all those tree oils. Okay, then there's Align. Align is really good to promote self-acceptance, trust, fluidity. I love that the oils just have a great effect on our mood and our emotions and our just our self-awareness. This encourages harmony and calmness. I have a sister that is a yoga instructor, and she's really excited to incorporate these into her practice. And I don't often do yoga. I need to do it more, but when I work out, I'm excited to use these because I think in any workout, these can be helpful. I mean, aligning, anchoring, just even just stretching. These are great oils to help to use. Align has bergamot, coriander, marjoram, peppermint, geranium, basil, rose, and jasmine. And then Arise. Arise is probably my favorite of these three. It's a very happy, joyful, uplifting one. Clarity. It kind of helps you. It has some citrus oils in it, lemon, grapefruit. So those that are kind of help. It's like your happy oil, just kind of helps wake you up and get you going. And then Siberian fir and Melissa osmanthus, those are great oils. This is probably my favorite of these. Okay, so those are all of the oils. I think that's it. So anyway, those are the oils. Really quick, I think that we are just about out of time, but I just want to show you, if you go to your doTERRA site, mydoterra.com, if you go to Our Advocates and you click on Fall Tour under Events, if you click on that, it brings you to this page, and you can it has all of the events listed. So it has the post-convention tour, all the states. It's broken up by regions. So choose whatever region you're in. If you're in the Pacific region, the mountain region, or the central or the eastern, and find your state and where the closest one is. And I highly recommend going. I cannot recommend it enough. I think it's amazing to go to these. They're 2-hour events. They're free to go to. They're usually in the evening starting at about 7, but definitely go to them. You will have the opportunity to purchase a kit. If you want to get all of the oils and get the full kit for a discounted price, then you can go, and that's the only way to purchase the kit. Otherwise, you have to wait until they're all released. I think Cocobaya and Siberian fir have already been released. You can purchase those now, but the others you have to wait until they release them. I think it's sometime in October. But if you want them as a set and to get the discount, then